If you're like most people, you've probably encountered difficult and toxic people in your life. Whether it's someone at work who's constantly undermining you, a family member who can't seem to stop degrading you, or a friend who always seems to be criticizing you, these types of people can be really tough to deal with. But don't worry, here are 7 ways to deal with them effectively. 1. Understand that toxic people are unique. Toxic people are different from other people in that they are unable to handle difficult or challenging situations. They often react in a way that is harmful to themselves and/or others. If you are around a toxic person, it is important to understand how they behave. Toxic people tend to be defensive, irrational, and uncooperative. They will often attack or criticize anyone who disagrees with them. It can be difficult to deal with a toxic person, but it is important to remember that they are unique and not representative of all people. You can still have a positive relationship with them if you understand how they work. 2. Don't be a victim. When you are around difficult or toxic people, it is important to remember that you are not the only one feeling this way. They may be acting this way because they are upset, angry, or frustrated. It is important to remember that you have the power to change the way these people are treating you. You do not have to let them control your emotions or your life. If someone is treating you poorly, it is important to speak up. Tell them how you feel, and ask them to stop treating you this way. If they cannot or will not listen, then you may need to seek outside help. There are resources available to help you deal with difficult people in a healthy way. 3. Surround yourself with positive people. It can be hard to deal with difficult and toxic people, but it is important to surround yourself with positive people. Positive people are helpful and supportive, and they will help you to get through difficult times. They will also encourage you to be your best self. It is important to find positive people who will support you in your journey towards a healthier lifestyle. Spend time with these people, and let them help you to grow and learn. 4. Defuse conflict by talking calmly and rationally. Difficult and toxic people can be a challenge to deal with. Here are some tips for defusing conflict calmly and rationally. When conflict arises, it is important to remain calm. Try not to react emotionally to the other person's words or actions. Instead, try to listen carefully and understand what they are saying. Next, try to suspend your judgment. Don't judge the other person immediately, and don't make assumptions about their motives. Instead, try to understand what they are feeling and why they are behaving the way they are. Finally, try to find common ground. There may be things that you can agree on, even if you disagree on the underlying issue. This will help to reduce tension and build trust between you and the other person. 5. Let people know what you expect from them. Toxic people can be difficult to deal with, and it can be hard to know what to do when you encounter them. Here are some tips on how to deal with difficult and toxic people. First, make sure you understand what toxicity is. Toxicity is the emotional or physical damage caused by chemicals or radiation. It can be caused by things like cigarette smoke, exhaust fumes, and alcohol. When you encounter a toxic person, take a step back and think about what you are feeling. Avoid getting drawn into their arguments or accusations. Instead, stay calm and respond in a way that will help the situation. If the person is toxic to you, try to avoid them as much as possible. You may need to speak up about the situation if it becomes too much for you. Let people know what you expect from them, and be firm in your demands. 6. Handling criticism constructively. Toxic people are difficult to deal with, and they can be very damaging to relationships. Here are a few tips for dealing with difficult and toxic people in a constructive way. First, it is important to understand that toxicity is not just a personality trait. Toxic people are usually motivated by something, usually anger and resentment. It is important to figure out what that something is, and then address it head-on. Second, it is important to have boundaries. Toxic people often push others close to their limits. It is crucial to set boundaries so that you can protect yourself from them. Be assertive and clear about what is and isn't acceptable behavior from them. Finally, remember that you are not the problem. Toxic people often project their own problems onto others. Don't let them get you down. Remember that you are worth more than this person's toxicity. 7. Address the issue directly. If you're having trouble dealing with difficult or toxic people, there are some steps you can take to address the issue directly. First, it's important to understand that these people are not always intentionally mean or harmful. Sometimes, they may just be unaware of how their behavior is impacting others. If you feel like you're struggling to handle the situation, it's helpful to take some time for yourself. This includes time for relaxation and self-care, as well as a healthy dose of perspective. You can also try speaking to a trusted friend or family member about the situation. They may be able to offer advice or support in dealing with difficult and toxic people.